10. Muscle cars that look fast but can't keep up. 1. Chevrolet Camaro, 1960s. The first-generation Chevrolet Camaro is a true American classic. Its aggressive styling and wide stance make it look like it could dominate the streets. Under the hood, however, it's not always as quick as it appears. The early models were more about muscle than actual speed, with engines that were more about size than performance. While the Camaro was a star on the muscle car scene, its top speed often disappointed compared to its competition. Still, the car's iconic look makes it a favorite among enthusiasts. Even though it's slow in comparison to modern muscle cars, it remains a symbol of American automotive history. 2. Ford Mustang, 1964 to 1966. The original Ford Mustang might be one of the most recognizable muscle cars of all time. With its sleek design and powerful engine options, it's easy to mistake it for a speed demon. However, many of the early Mustangs lacked the performance to match their appearance. The base models came with smaller engines, offering only moderate power. Despite this, the Mustang still became a symbol of the muscle car era. It took a while before Ford introduced models with more speed and refinement. But the Mustang's legendary status continues to be built on its looks, rather than its actual performance in the early days. 3. Pontiac Firebird, 1970 to 1980. The Pontiac Firebird always had a fierce presence on the road, with its sharp styling and aggressive looks. However, the Firebird's performance often fell short of expectations. The early models were equipped with engines that couldn't back up the car's tough exterior. Despite having various engine options, many Firebirds had trouble competing with other muscle cars in terms of speed. The Firebird may have looked like it was ready to tear up the asphalt, but it wasn't until later years that it found its true performance identity. Even today, its design makes it a coveted classic. Still, fans often remember the Firebird more for its looks than for any raw power. 4. Chevrolet Chevelle SS, 1960s-1970s. The Chevrolet Chevelle SS is often seen as one of the finest muscle cars, thanks to its aggressive stance and bold lines. While some Chevelle SS models could really perform, others had more looks than speed. The standard engine options in some years didn't quite match up with its powerful appearance. It wasn't uncommon to find a Chevelle that looked ready for a drag race, but couldn't deliver the performance you'd expect. Despite that, the car became a symbol of muscle car culture. The Chevelle's wide body design and aggressive front end still give it the look of a beast, but for many, it's a reminder that sometimes the muscle car's appeal comes more from looks than actual speed. 5. Dodge Challenger, 1970s. The original Dodge Challenger is one of the most iconic muscle cars, with its bold styling and street-ready look. However, not all Challengers lived up to the muscle part of their name. Many early models were outfitted with engines that couldn't live up to the car's tough exterior. While the Challenger looked like a track monster, its base models were slow compared to other muscle cars of the era. Even though it had a variety of engine options, only certain configurations offered true speed. The Challenger's style kept it in the spotlight, and it became an icon for the muscle car movement. Its bold design continues to make it a favorite, but it often lacked the speed that matched its looks in its early years. 6. Oldsmobile 442, 1964 to 1970. The Oldsmobile 442 was a car that exuded performance on the outside, with its wide stance and powerful look. However, the 442's early years didn't always match its aggressive image. Many of the early models had small engines that didn't provide the punch you might expect from a muscle car. Despite the tough exterior and bold design, the 442 was often underwhelming in terms of speed. While later versions improved on the performance, The early iterations were more about style. It was a muscle car with some muscle, but lacked the true performance of other contemporaries. Today, the 442 is still respected for its history, but is remembered more for its looks than for raw power. 7. Mercury Cougar, 1967 to 1970. The Mercury Cougar was introduced as a luxury pony car with a bold, sporty design. While its styling was on point, the Cougar often failed to deliver the kind of speed people expected from a muscle car. Many early Cougars came with smaller engines, leading to slower performance than its visual appeal suggested. While it had the looks of a high-performance car, it was often more about comfort and style than outright speed. Some later models were equipped with faster engines, but the Cougar was often overshadowed by its more famous competitors. Even though it didn't quite match the performance of its rivals, the Cougar's unique design made it a desirable vehicle. Its legacy endures, though many still remember it more for its style than for its speed. 8. Plymouth Barracuda, 1964 to 1974. The Plymouth Barracuda's unique fastback design turned heads, making it look like a speedster. However, many of the early Barracuda models weren't nearly as fast as they appeared. While the later models improved, the early ones were often slow with underwhelming engines. Despite its high-performance looks, the Barracuda often lacked the kind of muscle that could match its design. It was a car that promised a lot, but didn't always deliver on speed. Despite this, its iconic look helped it find a place in muscle car history. The Barracuda became a classic because of its bold styling rather than its actual performance. 9. Buick GS Grand Sport, 1960s to 1970s. The Buick GS is another example of a car that looked like it could race, but didn't always have the speed to back it up. Early models came with relatively small engines, which didn't match the car's aggressive stance. Though the GS had a tough, muscular exterior, its performance was often just average. Later models saw improvements, but it still wasn't the quickest muscle car in the market. Despite this, the GS maintained its appeal due to its sharp styling and comfortable ride. Its understated but powerful presence in the muscle car world made it a favorite. The Buick GS is remembered more for its design than for setting any speed records. 10. Chrysler 300 Hurst, 1960s, 1970s. The Chrysler 300 Hurst was a full-sized muscle car with aggressive lines and a bold stance. However, its performance didn't always live up to its looks. The Chrysler 300 Hurst was outfitted with large engines, but they didn't always provide the kind of speed that its design suggested. Despite looking like a powerful muscle car, the Chrysler 300 Hurst was often sluggish when it came to acceleration and handling. It was more about the luxury and presence of the car rather than raw muscle. The car was still an icon of the muscle car era, thanks to its unique styling. Its legacy endures, but it's often remembered for looking fast rather than actually being fast. Despite its underwhelming performance, the Chrysler 300 Hurst was an impressive statement of luxury and design. It was often seen as more of a grand tourer than a true muscle car, with its comfortable ride and plush interior setting it apart from its peers. The car was designed to compete with the likes of Cadillac and Lincoln, offering a premium experience rather than focusing purely on performance. While it may not have had the blistering speed of other muscle cars, the 300 Hurst was equipped with features like a sleek, aerodynamic profile and eye-catching details that turned heads wherever it went. Its distinct design elements, such as the blacked-out roof and unique paint choices, contributed to its lasting appeal in the automotive world. The 300 Hurst's legacy as a blend of style and power continues to make it a highly sought-after collector's item today. For many, It's remembered as a car that offered an unmatched combination of elegance and muscle, even if it couldn't quite keep up with the other speed demons of its time. Although the Chrysler 300 Hurst never quite delivered the performance expected from its bold exterior, it was still revered for its status and exclusivity. With limited production numbers, the car became a symbol of luxury and muscle in the 1960s and 1970s, appealing to those who valued style over speed. Over time, collectors have sought out the 300 Hurst for its rarity and distinctive design, making it a sought-after piece in muscle car history. The car's combination of high-end features and aggressive aesthetics ensured that it stood out even among its faster competitors. Today, the Chrysler 300 Hurst is seen as a blend of classic American muscle and luxury, cementing its place in automotive lore.